Hey everybody, I'm Clifford Semi, the Pop Song Professor, and welcome to my channel where we make song lyrics explained. And today we're talking about the most confusing song off of Scaled and Icy from 21 Pilots. That song is called Bounce Man, and there are at least 4 theories, probably a ton more. We're gonna go over the 4 most common theories, and then at the very end we're gonna try to answer the question, which of these 4 theories is this song actually? There's so much, like, and people I think would know, mostly everybody would agree. There's been so little said by Tyler about this song. It's such a confusing song. It's so different from most 21 Pilot songs. I think that everybody would agree that this is the most confusing song on the album. And we're gonna give it our best shot, but you know, at the same time, we're going into dangerous, almost uncharted, lacking complete directions territory, and we're gonna do our very best. So Bounce Man. We start off with some lyrics that'll be repeated later, so we'll come back to them. But a lot of it kind of sounds like Tyler talking to this person in the background. What'd you do, man? My friend, yeah. And then we get into verse 1. I don't know if you've got your phone, because this went straight to voicemail, so you're not picking up, and my wife saw your face in the nightly news, which often, and is implied in this situation to be a bad thing, like you did something and you're wanted by the police. Oh boy, what'd you do? Don't matter now. If you need a piece, I'll break it down. Basically, I don't care what you did, and I don't care that the law is against you. I'll help you out. Ostensibly because we're such good friends. Chorus. You should bounce, man. Come to the house, man. I'll let my old lady know, referring to his wife. You'll be in and out, man. Float you a couple bands, then you head to Mexico. Like, you can come lay low at my place, and then you can get out of here and start making it, you know, to out of the country where you'll be safe from the people that are trying to get you. Yeah, I told you all along, running away don't make you wrong. So, like, please stay safe. You don't have to stay and fight. Before you bounce, man, come to the house, man. We'll sing one more song. So, we're, you know, that's obviously somebody he sang a song with before. Duh. Then we come to verse 2, and now ostensibly the friend is gone, and Tyler's at his house. If they come knocking, ain't no stopping me for you. Just let me know you're good on your amenities, like the things that you need. Got soldiers on my pedigree, which probably means that his ancestry probably has a couple of people who served in a military somewhere. If you don't reply to this phone call, I'll know you must have crossed state lines. Because otherwise, if you replied, obviously you'd come here because you trust me, we're such good friends. But no, this probably means you've already crossed state lines, which means it's a little bit more limited, the jurisdiction of the state that you're coming from, ostensibly Ohio, and you're starting to move down to Mexico already. She's been crying, but I'll tell her you're fine. Don't matter now. If you need a piece, I'll break it down. She's been crying could refer to a few people. It could be somebody that really cares. It's obviously somebody who really cares about this person, so it could be this person's significant other, or it could be, you know, one of 3 other really important females in Tyler's life, who would be his daughter, his wife, and his mom. Now, if it's his mom, then it would make sense that it could be one of his brothers, right? And he already had a song about Jay, so you wonder, could this potentially be about Zack or something like that? In which case, could this female crying also be referring to, you know, Tyler's wife Jenna, or to Zack's wife? If it's Tyler's wife Jenna who's doing the crying, it could just be a person who's a really good friend of the both of them, somebody they've both known since they've been married. Could it be Tyler's daughter Rosie, which would mean, you know, somebody that Rosie would recognize? Could it be somebody else, right? We're gonna get to more of those theories in a second. But whoever this she is, if we knew who that was, it would give us a big hint as to who the song is actually about. But suffice it to say, because Tyler's wife is the other female mentioned in the song, and I've seen a lot of people talk this back and forth, and I feel like it probably has more to do with Jenna, probably. But we continue on to a chorus, float you a couple bands, which if I didn't explain before is basically just him saying, I'll give you some money, I'll lend you some money so that you can make it to Mexico and survive there for a little while. And then we go back to some repeated lyrics. Come to the house, man, we'll sing one more song so long. And that is Bounce Man. All right, let's break down the 4 theories and see which one to me and to you makes the most sense. Number 1 theory is that this has something to do with the run and go. If you read the lyrics of the run and go, we have, I can't take them on my own, or I'm not the one you know, I've killed a man and all I know is I am on the run and go, which sounds like Maybe this is Tyler singing from the perspective of two different people here. In the Run and Go, he's the person who did the killing and now he's trying to get away. And then you have Bounce Man, where it seems like he's maybe supporting that person, helping him out. And this person in the Run and Go says, don't want to call you in the nighttime, don't want to give you all my pieces, don't want to hand you all my trouble, don't want to give you all my demons. Which really sounds like it's talking to God. So it would be really weird for Tyler and Bounce Man to be singing from the perspective of God, but especially because that's something that would just be really weird for him to do. Then in the Run and Go, maybe in Bounce Man he's talking from the perspective of a friend kind of on the sidelines, right? Like somebody else who's helping and providing that support. I hear them coming down the hall, I've killed a man and all I know. That's a serious crime, one of very few crimes, actual serious crimes mentioned in 21 Pilots music and lore in like the real world. And so that could be a reason for somebody to be trying to make it across state lines and escape to Mexico. Maybe the cops are after them for that. So you wonder, like, could there be some kind of connection here? Because Tyler would have to be singing from the perspective of God and Bounce Man for it to be a one-to-one connection. It makes me feel a little bit shaky about that, but then this sort of like idea of, well, maybe he's a friend on the side, maybe that makes it actually possible that it's sort of a reference. It kind of comes down to, what is this person running from in Bounce Man? Because in the Run and Go, when he says, I have killed a man, I don't know, I think we've talked about that before, and that really could be a reference to Tyler maybe having metaphorically hurt/killed himself in like a very abstract way. It probably, especially concerning a lot of the other lyricism and what was being talked about in Vessel, might have more to do with either like a very Christian perspective of like, if you hate somebody, that's the same as murdering them in your heart, or it could be a reference to, you know, to Christian theology and Jesus having had to die for people's sins. So it starts to feel a little bit mushy as you make that comparison. So I'm not saying that it's impossible that that theory is applicable, but it seems a little bit iffy to me. The second theory for Bounce Man would be that this is a reference to an old friend. Now I found a quote on Reddit ascribed to Tyler Joseph, but could find this quote nowhere else, so I'm not gonna read it. But the basic thing, it sounded like Tyler talking, was that, you know, as life goes on, you start to have different circles of friends, and friends come and go. Like he, in the quote that might have been his quote, was saying that if you know, at a wedding, at our wedding, he was talking about his and Jenna's, you know, we had a group of friends, but if we had that wedding again today, we might not even invite the exact same people. It'd be a different group of friends. But the one constant through all of that is family. And then you start to realize, okay, there are some friends who are mainstays who stick around and will continue to be those friends that are almost as close as family, and that you would invite to the wedding no matter when you had the wedding. That's a huge paraphrase, but that's the basic idea. And so you wonder if this song is referencing somebody who is a really tight friend, which would kind of go along with the brother theory, but it would also go along with, you know, any number of people who are really, really good friends for him. It could be a reference to Josh, it could be a reference to other people, basically saying like, I am on your side no matter what else is going down with other people, because I trust you and I love you and I'm there for you. And that, I think, is probably one of the tightest theories of the four. But we'll continue on to number 3. Number 3 is that it really dives deep into the Dina lore. Could this be to Clancy? Could it be from Clancy to Tyler? Could the people chasing this person be the Dina bishops? Could this person have been framed and is now on the run from the establishment that's trying to get them? And this theory seems to hold a lot of water in the context of the lore, especially as we see the Choker music video, where all of a sudden now like the Dina lore is spreading out into the real world. It's not just in the, you know, the made up Dina land and in Trench. It really could be something to do with that, and it could be referencing sort of that spread. I don't really think it's Clancy singing to Tyler, or necessarily even Tyler singing to Clancy. I would be much more likely to say that it could be kind of a reference to just the banditos in general, or helping people in general, just sort of like this metaphorical description of being there for friends. Very rarely does Tyler sing about an actual real world situation and put that entirely in the real world. Oftentimes he'll use metaphor to describe things, so you wonder if maybe, you know, he's not necessarily singing to a real person, he's singing to a metaphorical person and using the real life situation as a metaphor for how he would help the banditos or the skeleton clique or whatever. That's a theory. I don't know if it's as strong as number 2. But there is the final theory, and it's the one that you guys, if you've been doing any kind of research on this yourself, have been waiting for me to talk about. And the big question, is this song to Ned? Is this song about good old Ned? Some people have theorized that the phone that Tyler is calling on in Shy Away is him singing this song to Ned, particularly because the gas station in the background is called Ned's Last Stop. So it's Ned's last stop on the way to what? Obviously we don't see Ned at Ned's last stop, so Ned has stopped there for the last time on his way to his ultimate destination or his next destination. And then we have this interview from a few weeks back, about a month back, where the interviewer asked, hey, where's Ned? And Tyler was like, he's kind of on hiatus, he turned off his phone, and we haven't been able to contact him. Hey Ned, if you're out there, come back. And so that storyline, so little to work off of. What if that person hadn't asked that question in connection with the Ned's Last Stop and in connection with the lyrics of this song, almost make it sound like it could be about Ned. And then we go back to this line that was, come to the house, man, we'll sing one more song. And you definitely sing songs with Ned, like he's shown up at concerts. He is a metaphor for creativity that trash has kind of replaced at the moment. And so it really could be Ned, guys. I will say, would Tyler actually help a fugitive from the law by harboring them, aiding and abetting them, and helping them escape the country? That sounds potentially illegal. So would he actually do that for a real person? But it would be so much easier to say, yeah, I would do that for a fake made up metaphor for creativity. So in that respect, sort of the outlandishness of these lyrics, if you take them at face value, feels a little bit more at home if we're singing to an animatronic creativity gremlin. So that feels like a point in favor of the Ned theory. And that brings us to the ultimate question, which theory is, which of these is this about? Is it the run and go? Is it to an old good friend? Is it to the Banditos / Clancy in terms of Dina? Is it about Ned? Maybe Ned's running away from Dina. Maybe it's the run and go to an old good friend. Maybe it's a combination of all 3 or 4 of these. Maybe it's bits and pieces of each all mushed together. Maybe there's a 5th meaning and theory out there that none of us have a single clue about. And if you are somebody who is watching this and have a single clue, send me an email. I would love for you to just spill the beans for me because this song is driving me insane. Anyway, if I had to make an educated guess, I would say that the Ned and the old friend theory, in my mind, are tied. Because it would make sense that Tyler would be singing songs one more time with his friends because I'm sure a lot of his friends are very musically inclined, right? At 3rd place, I would put the Bishop's Clancy Dina theory, and then at 4th place, I'd put the run and go theory. People gonna disagree, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that, so feel free to share. And yeah, thanks so much for all of you guys who put comments on the No Chances video to help explain this. It was super helpful to read through some of those and see what you guys were thinking. You really helped me to clarify my thoughts as I went through this and helped me with the research. So thank you, as always, for being great song explainers yourself, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Got another video coming out soon about, just sort of overall thoughts on this album, and I'm excited to share that with you. Talk to you soon.